What's up, buddy?
How are you?
Good.
What's going on?
None.
It's good, man. I got so much.
Navigating through crowded hallways and dormitories can be overwhelming for most students, but even more so for one that is unable to see. Choosing to be optimistic about being visually impaired has allowed Vishal more opportunities than others suffering from disabilities. College has been one of his most important life choices.
You can choose to be miserable, or you can choose to be happy. It's a choice you make. I try to live my life as normal as possible. I mean, it takes me longer to learn things. You know, like I have to learn how to get to all my classes. You know, do that till the summertime. So.
Vishal believes that anyone would easily cope with the difficulties of being blind if faced with those hardships. Adaptation is a key component to functioning in a high-paced world with a disability.
Well, I tell people that if any one of them lost their sight tomorrow, they'd be able to adapt. I mean, it's like, you know, I've adapted even after having seizures. I've had to adapt my life. The world doesn't adapt to me, Matt, so I have to adapt to it. The world, it's not society's responsibility or obligation to adapt to me. Because I can't expect the 99% of people or to adapt. I can expect them to accommodate, but that's not the same as adapting. There's a distinction there. We use adaptive, what I would classify as adaptive techniques, stuff that if you guys lost your sight, you would have to learn ways to adapt.
Gotcha.
I mean, you can adapt. I mean, for example, the people who lost their limbs in the Boston Marathon, they're gonna have to adapt at this point.
Yes.
They have no other. They can either A, adapt, or B, they can sit on the couch and feel sorry for themselves. Yes. It's a decision that they will have to make. Now, given the fact that I know it is difficult to adapt, but that's a decision that people have to make. I can only choose to live life.
Dreaming and imagination are things most people typically can engage in when one's eyes are closed. For blind people like Vishal, dreaming and imagination has prompted an interesting question. Can blind people dream, picture, or imagine things?
People ask me, I've been asked this question about whether I dream or not. And people would say everybody dreams. Like people would say, some people would make that point. Mm-hmm. Psych majors would tell you that everybody dreams. Mm-hmm. I've heard of blind people dreaming before. I personally, I don't remember. Well, I was saying that you know, the way my brain works, I don't picture stuff. Like if someone asks me to picture, if someone asks me to picture stuff, I know general stuff, like I know the sky is blue and the grass is green. That is stuff that I think any blind person should know.
Modern technology has become an important factor in most blind people's daily lives. Simple tasks such as texting, browsing Facebook, and even checking the time are achieved with these advancements.
See, right now there's an hour hand and there's a minute hand. I know it's almost 11 o'clock, so yeah. That's pretty. Yeah, technology has done great things. I mean, in the 70s there wasn't much technology. We've made progress, but we still have a long way to go as a society in terms of that.
Finding a job after college is always a challenge, especially for those with disabilities. College can only increase one's odds.
After I leave here, I want to try to find a job, despite the fact that unemployment for blind people is extremely high. I do want to try to find work. I want to advocate for people, who have, disabilities. So I want to do that. Traveling is great. I've traveled, my whole life. I love to travel, and I hope that whatever job I get allows me to do that.
Many may see blindness as a disability, although in Vishal's case, blindness is a gift that has enabled him to see life in a different perspective.
What I say is I'm not invincible, and that's the generation, or our generation, seems to not know that until something happens to them. I've learned that early on in my life. For example, people in society go based off of looks. I don't have the ability to do that. I've seen.
So then what are your methods?
I get to know people from the inside out, not from the outside in.
Choosing to stay positive and working hard are two characteristics that have guided Vishal throughout his life. His positivity and willingness to not take things for granted has changed my own way of thinking and believing. By not giving up and remaining positive regardless of a person's ability to see or not is what makes this world a better place.
I see them blue for me and you, and I think
to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue